In this video, I'm going to show you how I've been saving my citrus so that I get more life out of my lemons while we're living in this crazy lockdown situation. So stick around. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Patty. This is my handmade lifestyle and I go by Patty Mac Makes everywhere online. This video is kind of a little bit of a stripped down version. I'm getting back to basics. I'm just filming this on my phone. I'm handheld. I'm sharing with you some things that I'm actually doing right now to cope with self-isolation, social distancing, and all that. These new terms that we have. We're staying home basically. And I have been ordering produce a little heavier than I would normally, and what I've been doing is like breaking it down and freezing it. And I wanted to do a series of videos on how I handle different produce. I will link over here to the video about how I handled my grapes and blueberries. And today we're going to deal with lemons and lemon juice. And this has worked really super well. And yeah, if you're like me and you like lemon in your tea, you like to bake with lemon, this is a way to go ahead and grab 2 or 3 bags of them, break them down and save them for later. We're shopping ahead a little bit because we're a high-risk household. I'm not taking any chances. I'm not going to the store at all right now. I'm having everything delivered, and I don't want to keep having delivery people coming because every time you get the produce, it's a lot of work to sanitize it. I'll link in the description to a video that I found that I'm guessing it's for real. I guess I don't know. I'm doing what he says. Just keep in mind, this is not medical advice. I'm just another person like you and sharing one of my coping strategies to keep us supplied with fresh fruits and vegetables. I don't know. I'm just buying a lot of it at one time, breaking it down and freezing it. And that way we are supplied with fresh fruit, and I don't have to keep running delivery people around because I don't want to overuse them. This is a hard time for them. You know, they are risking themselves to be out there. So anyway, trying to do my part to stay home. I'm trying to stay healthy, and anyway, that's what's going on. Okay, that's enough. Let's look at how I'm doing the lemons, because I think you'll like this. This is kind of the end result of what you're going to get. So this is some citrus I had setting up in my freezer. I got one of these little silicone molds, and I guess what they're really designed for is to just make cute ice cubes. Well, you can put your lemon juice in there, and then when they're frozen, you put them in a Ziploc bag, and guess what? You got like a little individual frozen piece of lemon juice that you can use. And you can put one of those right into your hot tea. It works out really well. And look, it just pops right out. And you just drop them in. And the thing is, so if you're freezing first in these little individual pieces, and look how cute it is. So you've got like little pineapples. So if you freeze first like that, and then put it into your container, whatever it is you want to use. I'm just using plastic storage bags because they can be washed and reused, and just putting everything in. I was saying, and see, they pop right out. Just put it right in. It works so well. Each one of these little containers, it's about a tablespoon. So if you wanted to make some kind of a lemon recipe, like a glaze or cookies, or whatever calls for lemon, course, the easiest thing is if you just measure out in grams, because a milliliter is a gram. So you could just figure out how many milliliters you need and measure it out in grams, remove that many from the bag, and then just let them melt. And then you've got fresh lemons. You know, and these will last. I mean, they're in the freezer. They're gonna last you. And I really like fresh citrus. So I just roll them up, and there they are. And then they'll just go right back in the freezer. And let me show you how I'm juicing. So all of my produce has been washed. I've been washing everything as it comes into the house. It gets washed in soap and warm water before it ever goes into the refrigerator or into the keeper. I have a place where I keep all my citrus, and it's just kept there until I'm ready to process it down like we're doing right now. So now what we're going to do is pour that. You want to pour it through a sieve, and that will strain out the pulp and the seeds. So here's the thing. I only have that one little silicone cube maker in that size. So what happens for me is I can only do but so much at a time. So what I've been doing is I'll juice out all of those lemons, and I'll juice everything into this container, and then this container will go into the refrigerator. And then I'll just as my little lemon cubes are ready, I'll just get it out and make some more. But this is all you're gonna do. You just pour it. Let's see. You're just going to pour. And stop just short of the top because it will expand. Oops. I'm doing this with my left hand so you can see it better, but usually I'm a little bit neater than this. Oops. Okay. So, I mean, it takes a while to work your way through with the freezing, but if you had more than one of these, it would go faster, but I mean, who cares? All right. This is going to be kept in the fridge, so everything will stay fresh, and they freeze really quick because they're small. So maybe once an hour you go in and you check, and do another round, and you just put everything back into that same little bag. Now what I'd like to do is to save the zest on the lemons, and it really is better if you do it from the lemon before you juice it. So just save all that pretty zest. I'm putting it in its own pile because a recipe will say the zest of 1 lemon or the zest of 2 lemons or whatever the recipe calls for that you're using. And so I want to kind of have an approximation. I'm going to zest all the rest of my lemons, and everything will be in a little pile. And then I'm going to freeze this so that the little piles will freeze together. And then I'll put the little piles, looks like a kind of like a little bird's nest. I'll put those pre-frozen individual little nests of zest into their own bag. And then, you know, if I want to make something with lemon zest, I'll just pull out, you know, however much, like that's the zest of a lemon, however much it calls for. And I'll just take that out and set it in one of my little pinch bowls, and it can just come to room temperature. And I'll do the same with the lemon juice, and we'll make a recipe where we do that. Not today, but in future. Okay, I'm gonna finish up what I'm doing. That's how I'm prepping down my lemons to preserve them over time. So far, so good. It's worked really well, and I have to be honest, I really like having all my stuff prepped and ready to go, and I think that even when all of this craziness is over with, I'm gonna keep doing this because I can prep down all of my fruits and a lot of my vegetables for the month. It's almost like a, what is it everybody does? Not meal planning. Oh my gosh, what is it? I always think of it as just leftovers, but meal prepping, that's what they call it. So this is like my version of meal prepping. If I don't have to be constantly schlepping to the store, I like this. So I hope that helps. And it's just a way to preserve your ingredients so that you can keep yourself healthy and keep baking. You know, lemon stuff is so good right now, and the vitamin C is really healthy for your system. So, okay, that's everything. Yeah, if you have questions, pop them below. Remember, I'm just a regular person like you, doing the best I can do to get through a crazy time and sharing just some of what I've been doing here. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And if you made it all the way to the video, I appreciate you even more. Okay, thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.